This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Verse 2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Psalm chapter 2, verse 1 through 3 is that I want to play a clip that I found on social media of a reporter, journalist Ben Swan. And if you don't know who Ben Swan is, he was one of the main ones to expose Pizzagate, which he caught a lot of hell behind. All right, and if you don't know what Pizzagate is, all right, that goes to show you you don't know what the hell is going on. All right, regarding the wickedness that's happening, all right, amongst these leaders. All right, these leaders are into heavy satanic rituals, all right, and a lot of it has to do with abusing children, okay, and so he exposed it. All right, so I recommend subscribing to Ben Swan, because not only does he talk about the Epstein files, the Pizzagate, he also talks about, all right, this MOTB, okay, which is the mark of the beast, all right, and this the system that's being put in play, all right, and that's why I brought out the book of Psalm chapter 2 verse 1 through 3, all right, because it's the kings of the earth, all right, the international bankers that are forcing these governments, all right, to implement this mark of the beast, all right, onto the citizens. In fact, let me play it, because Ben Swan, that's how he starts off, all right, this report. So let's play it.
Agenda 2030, and it is a real United Nations framework adopted in 2015 by world leaders, including the United States and the United Kingdom.
Bam. So there you go. Agenda 2030. If you don't know about Agenda 2030, you should really look into it, all right? It was established, all right, from the United Nations, that's controlled by these kings of the earth, these international bankers, all right, to force a particular policy, a particular mandate, a particular decree, okay, law, he frames mischief by law, onto the citizens by 2030, okay? That's why it says a plan for people, planet, and, okay, and of course prosperity, and that's, that's a lie, okay? It's not prosperity, it's enslavement, total control, all right? Now, I got the Google AI overview. I said, how many nations have an Agenda 2030 plan? A total of 193 nations, all member states of the United Nations, have adopted Agenda 2030 plan. This global framework, formerly known as the 2030 Agenda for Sustainability Development, consists of 17 sustainable development goals designed to eradicate poverty. That's a lie. Protect the planet. That's a lie. And ensure prosperity. That's a lie. For all by the year 2030. You see that? So this devil has to move fast, okay? And that's why this whole gradualism, all right, that's going to get thrown out the window, all right? Something's about to happen, I believe, this year to move everybody, okay, into a cashless society, because that's what they're working on now, all right? So they can chip everyone. So let's play this, all right? And again, back to Psalm chapter 2, all right, verse 1. Again, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing. Verse 2, here's the point. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Right, that's the whole goal. The plan is to remove the minds of the people from the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, from the creator of heaven and earth. That's the whole plan. And that's why they're using, social media platform, the media, all right, to brainwash the people, to condition the people, all right, to worship them, all right. And these people, okay, they all have to be initiated, meaning, okay, bow down by taking that chip, that RFID chip. Because once the people take it, they're saying that, okay, openly, that they worship this man, okay, all right, this beast system, the image of the beast, which is the ancient Roman ways. And who rules it, all right? Who's at the forefront of pushing this beast system, the image of the beast, okay? The ancient Roman ways. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, okay? Starting with them JJs in 1948, them small hats, okay? They don't want you to think about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and his words. They don't want to think, they don't want you to think about the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, who English calls Jesus, okay? All right? That's why the Lord sent out the prophets to warn our people, because this is the message to our people. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. All right? You're going to have to make a decision. All right? Do you worship Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? Okay? Or do you worship this man's beast system, this image? And you're going to have to make a conscious decision, because everyone will be tested. Okay? When that chip is made mandatory. So let's play, because he's going to talk about it.
The UN describes it as a, quote, plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity, ending poverty, fighting climate action, establishing a digital infrastructure, building smart cities, and improving global health, right?
Right? So there's Ben Swan. Now, let me go back, because you see that? This is all lies. Poverty has increased, okay? Poverty has increased. Fighting climate action. All right. First of all, they're the ones that control the weather in terms of geoengineering. Okay, they're the ones, all right, manipulating the weather. Okay, and then it blows up in their face, because really, who can overtake their manipulation? The Lord. All right, the Lord is the one that can bring the storms. So here it is. Esau's trying to do a controlled demolition, but it always backfires, because it's the Lord, okay, that can control these storms, control these tornadoes, okay, control these floods at the end of the day. Like, oh man, hold on. Establishing a digital infrastructure. Don't you see those data centers being built up all over the country and in the world? Okay. They're also passing laws, decrees, all right, regarding digital ID, building smart cities. Yup, that's clearly everywhere. Improving global health. No, you know what this is talking about? Jabs, okay, poison, all right, the jump shot, okay. That's what that's talking about. It ain't talking about eating healthy and going to the herbs, all right. So let's keep playing.
Improving global health, right? On paper, all that, at least most of it, sounds fine, because not everything connected to these initiatives is evil, right? Not everything's some secret plot. We are seeing the rise of digital IDs and central bank digital currencies, AI data centers, biometrics, real-time data collection, surveillance, algorithms making decisions for us.
Hey, have not we been saying this at Great Millstone through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? Okay? And again, it's the kings of the earth, all right, the international bankers, using the United Nations to push this policy all over the earth, okay? He frameth mischief by law. Let's go again. Let's go. Frameth mischief by law, okay? All right? Psalm chapter 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame in mischief by law? Right. Okay. And this is only for a short period. Okay. Because once he pushes that chip, that's when destruction comes. NOT version. Can unjust leaders claim that God is on their side? Leaders who decrees permit injustice? Right. And these unjust leaders are showing that, okay, that they're not with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're actually, okay, conspiring, all right, and coming together, all right, to get away from the words of the Lord and get away from the Creator, okay. And this is it through this this beast system with the RFID chip, okay, and the digital ID, which is going to be attached to the RFID chip, okay. All right. Leaders who decrees permit injustice. Isn't this injustice? All right. A digital ID, okay, a data collection, surveillance, okay. But yeah, he wants to talk about freedom, freedom of choice. It's all BS. All right. Oh, there you go. Biometrics. Bio meaning the body, metrics meaning measure. And how are they going to measure the body? By putting that device in you so they could see how you feel. All right. Look at the brain chip with the Neuralink, right? They're measuring the people's emotions and feelings with that brain chip in. All right. So yeah, this is all injustice, man. Okay. Decrees permit injustice. Again, he framed mischief by law. Okay. Unrighteous decrees. Again, Agenda 2030. And it was put into play in 2015. So Esau been moving, okay? But the thing is, a lot of our people lost patience because it didn't happen overnight. They lost patience. All right, that's why I got to bring this scripture out. Ecclesiasticus, also known the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? Right. Those that fell out the truth, those that went into the world, back to some bullshit life. All right. You've lost patience. So, all right, y'all gonna take that chip and then you're gonna get what? Dipped in the fire. That's why remind me when the past elders used to say, I don't know if they still say it now. I haven't heard them say it in a while. You're gonna take that chip, then you're gonna get chipped and dipped in the fire. Okay? Let's keep playing.
And the people building these systems openly say they are all connected. One government organization out of Canada published a report titled Exploring Biodigital Convergence. It's a real document. And
look at this. Exploring biodigital convergence. What happens when biology, meaning the body, and digital technology merge? Wow. Okay, let's pull this up. Okay, this whole gradualism is about to come to an end. Oh, here it is. Okay, this whole gradualism is about to come to an end, man. All right, this devil's about to move fast. All right, I can't see us being here by 2030. Okay. Because this information is available. You think Esau's going to allow this information to be out? That means he's going to have to shut the internet down, man. The famine of word is coming. The days of us teaching on the highways and byways are coming to an end, okay? It's about to come quick. So let's bring this out. Exploring biodigital convergence. Biodigital convergence is the merging of biological and digital systems into integrated complementary technologies. That is basically the mark of the beast. Straight up. I mean, if you can't see, that's what that means. All right? Like pertaining to John's vision. John the Revelator saw people getting chipped up. Okay? People getting literally a syringe. All right? And in that syringe was a small RFID chip as the size of a rice being inserted into their hand or in their forehead. Okay? Like, come on, man. And in that chip has what? Okay? their digital ID, their information, okay? And then John saw that in order for these people to fucking live, that, okay, meaning buy and sell, all right, they were using it, okay, on these, what's it called? In the store, they were swiping their hand in the store, you know, paying bills, all right, with this device, buying and selling. Come on, man. The fusion happens when digital sensors, AI, or networks interact directly with living cells and organisms, transforming biological into a programmable, data-driven domain. This is from Canada, the government of Canada, okay? A real document. Here we go. Environmental tracking. Smart farming, environment and agriculture. Vertical farming relies on AI to control light, water, and nutrients, overriding seasonal and geographic growing constraints. So they want to track everything. How much light you use, how much water you use. Environmental tracking. Here we go. Nanotechnology and biological sensors tied into blockchain or digital workers can create immutable audit trails to track cellular data and monitor ecological health. Everything, track everything you do, everything you buy, how much you consume. Okay, that's why they call, when you go to the financial channel, what do they call people? The consumer. Look at this one. AI, the convergence is fundamentally changing how we understand and interact with the world, manifesting into three main ways. Direct integration, connecting digital networks directly with biological organism, controlling a living insect with a microchip or neural interfaces that decode the brain. Come on, man. This is it. All right? And he's framing mischief by law. Okay? The 2030 agenda. And I believe they're going to move faster than that. All right? They just got to get everybody out of physical cash, which I believe through the spirit power Yahweh Shemel Shai, something's going to happen this year, man, to move everybody out of physical cash so they can get this chip, all right, operational and distributed to the masses. What's going on here? Oh, come on. This fucking computer, man. All right, so what do I have to do? I have to open it up again? Guess so.
Agenda 20 Digital Convergence. It's a real document. And in that report, they describe a future where biological systems and digital systems begin to merge, not metaphorically, literally. They discuss technologies capable of altering human bodies, monitoring human behavior, and blending digital networks with biology itself.
Don't we see that with the Neuralink and all these other companies putting devices into people's brains? Okay.
Then you have the World Economic Forum, right, talking about what it calls the fourth industrial revolution.
Whoa, look at that. The fourth industrial revolution, the World Economic Forum. All right, and the apostles of Great Millstone, all right, went into this recently at camp, right? Does the fourth industrial revolution have to do with microchipping humans. Oh, now they playing stupid on here. Okay. Does the fourth industrial revolution have to do with microchipping humans? The short answer is no, it doesn't have to do with that exclusively. While human microchipping is real, emerging technology is only one tiny fraction of the bigger picture. Okay, but it's still part of it. That's the point. Neuroimplants. Okay, you got to do it. Does the fourth industrial revolution have to do with, okay, you got to write, check this out, is part of the, this is how you go, how it's going to come and say it the right way. Is part of the fourth industrial revolution have to do with microchipping humans? See, there you go, watch. Yes, microchipping humans is part of the broader conversion surrounding the fourth industrial revolution. You see, all right. It's just how you frame it, the wording. Esau tries to nitpick at every little detail of the word. All right. However, the fourth industrial revolution has everything to do with microchipping. Okay, it is part of this new, as they call it, industrial revolution. There you go. Just have to reframe it. So there you go. Okay, that's why. Let's get Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Right. Okay, we're clearly here, man. The prophecy, the vision, which is the prophecy, it's coming to pass, man. All right, we're in the appointed time. All right, it's not tarrying anymore. That's why that gradualism shit is about to be thrown out the window. This devil's going to have to make a move. He can't keep this information out. Okay? Again, I can't see 2030. All right? At the end of the day, we're on the Lord's time, But as prophets, and as believers in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we're hastening onto the day, man, to get up out of here. We want to get up out of here, man. Okay? That's the spirit we're in. We don't want to be here till 2030. Okay? Because that means we got to deal in this fucking hell with weirdos and freaks in the Epstein regime and disrespectful, okay, shit talkers and what's it called? Degenerates. And you got to deal with these YNs. You got to deal with Esau's bullshit. This shit is fucking annoying. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Right. And again, we know who's at the forefront of the kings of the earth, the rulers taking counsel. It's the Edomites, mainly the Amalekites, which they are the majority of the international bankers. Okay, they're the ones in the controlling the forefront, the head of the decision making. Okay, the international bankers. But the just shall live by his faith. Right. And by us seeing this, we know we're almost out of here. We know Yahweh Shai is about to make his imminent return. We're just waiting for this RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right. That's why we're so confident in bringing out this prophecy over and over again, because we know this is a major prophecy that needs to come to pass, so we get up out of here. All right, through Yahweh Shai, because only Yahweh Shai can deliver us. All right, from the coming judgment. Because those that take the chip, you read Revelation 14, they're going to get it. They're going to get it. So let's keep playing. They're going to get destroyed.
Merging of the physical, the digital, and the biological worlds. A future built on digital verification. Lawmakers say that is a good thing. They say it will reduce fraud. It will expedite government.
Lawmakers say, again, he frames mischief by law. It has to be law. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again because, All right, what do you think with this whole Clarity Act thing? They got to pass laws, all right, to get everybody out of physical cash. All right?
services. It will make your life so much more convenient. It will make society more efficient for everyone. Will it, though? Will it? See, as we so often say on the show, history teaches us something so important. Tools created for convenience can very quickly become tools of control. It's how it always starts. The question is never what a system does on day one. The question is, what will that system become on day 1000?
There's Whitney Webb. I claim, by the way. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievances which they have prescribed right. See, the thing, what this devil doesn't understand, these international bankers, the elites, mainly made up of Edomites, because they're the ones at the head of the in terms of ruling this earth. Okay, they don't understand that once they push that chip, hey, the Lord's going to take their kingdom away from them. All right, that's when the destruction comes. That's when the judgment comes. Okay. All right. So they think by doing all this, all right, that they're going to rule forever, and they're not. There's woe meaning death and destruction. All right, woe. All right, we're in the third woe, World War III. You think you're gonna be able to manage World War III, control World War III? No, you're gonna lose that control. It's gonna lead to nuclear missiles. All right, and that's why you're so fucking double-minded and so paranoid. You build bunkers outside of America, okay? And this is where the heart of the infrastructure of this whole digital prison is being pushed, okay? Because when you look at what's it called, the technology, especially with the whole the financial aspect, the blockchain, the crypto, all that comes from out of America, okay? That's where the power's at. This is where your power is. Your power is Babylon, the Great America. But yeah, you're gonna leave. You're not even gonna live here. You're gonna live somewhere else, in Argentina, in a fucking bunker, or somewhere in Europe, in one of those bunkers out there, or in Africa or New Zealand. All right. Let me keep reading verse 2. Turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor, my people, who are the Lord's people, the Israelites, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. 3. And what will you do in that? And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in desolation, which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? Right, because the Lord's coming, all right, to take the kingdom, all right. All right, with his saints. That's why the scriptures say the saints shall take the kingdom. All right. They know there is no escaping. You're not gonna. No one's gonna help you. And I'm speaking to you leaders. All right. You think you're gonna be able to keep your new world order, and rule forever? No, you're gonna lose it.
Coordinated global policy push for digital IDs as the new form.
Again.
What a system does on day one. The question is, what will that system become on day 1000?
There's a coordinated global policy push for digital IDs as the new form of government-issued identification credentials. And they're essentially all based on your biometric data, which can be your fingerprints, your face, the iris of your eyeball.
And that's happening now. More and more people are doing the eyeball, the iris. Look at the airports, okay? All right? And this is all leading to the chip, the mark of the beast. We're going to keep saying it over and over and over again.
The idea is essentially to collect all of that data and have it housed or have it tied directly to your digital ID, so your physical ID will be mapped to the digital ID.
See, are you paying attention yet? The digital ID becomes the ultimate form of human and societal control.
Right, and that's the graphos. That's in the RFID chip, okay? When you go into the Revelation 13, okay, we've always brought this out, okay? That's why the apostles and elders have always said it, go into words, so you get an understanding, all right? So, first you got charagma, all right, which is what? A thing carved, all right, a mark, right? So, scratching or etching, All right, that's them. Okay, opening up your skin to put that device in you. Okay. And then you go to the root word of that, which is karax, which means a pale, a stake, a palisade. All right. A scratching or sharpen. Right. That's the syringe. All right. That's the needle. You know, like it's better to get an image of it. All right. Hand implant RFID chip. All right, let's go to images. All right, where's that needle at? There you go, right there. Bow. Okay, there's the needle. All right, then putting it in there. There's the wicked doctor. Okay, there you go. All right. So that's the payload. Okay. All right. Putting it in your skin. Okay. So let's go back. Did I lose my spot? Bear me one moment. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then we're going to go, all right, to the root word of that, which is grapho, which means what? To write with reference to the form of the letters. All right. To delineate or form letters on a table, parchment, paper, or other material. Right. This is your information. To write all your information. Okay. Write down. Here we go. Record. To record. Okay. All right. What you bought, what you sold, your health. Did you get the next jabberoni, you know? Okay. All your information. Okay, everything. All right. Esau's so wicked. He'll keep a database. All right. Who you slept with, you know? That's how wicked he is. You know, who you seeing. All right. This is what John the Revelator saw, man. Again. All right, you pseudo Hebrew Israelites, you know, from ISUPK and IUIC, you got, hey, like the Apostle Elders has been saying, you're gonna do a lot of explaining when this prophecy comes to pass. Okay, and again, buying and selling, that's the key part right there. Okay, in order for you to continue in this wicked fallen world, all right, you have to have that device so you can buy and sell, pay for the rent. Pay for food. Pay for the air you breathe, because, you know, carbon footprint. What's all that about? Let's keep playing.
One's your ability to work and to travel and to bank and to access healthcare, to buy food, to have a home or apartment, to participate in daily life, all depends on a digital system. And the people who run those systems now have the ultimate power.
See that? So again, it's a conspiracy. The kings of the earth, all right, are conspiring to force everyone to get this RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, all right, for total control. This has been the agenda, all right, for a very, very long time. Okay. Oh, look at that. Iran halted talks with the U.S. due to Donald Trump's threats about Tehran. Of course. All right, I think that's all smoke and mirrors. This war has just begun, man. I've been saying that anyway. All right, we know at Great Millstone. All right, this war just begun. All right, Iran just won that first battle. All right, get ready for boots on the ground. Get ready for a draft, and a lot of you that get drafted, you're gonna get chipped up. Okay, that chip's coming for a lot of soldiers.
Control of the masses. Do something wrong, and they cut you off. Don't pay your taxes, locked out of your apartment. Say the wrong thing on social media, they'll lock your bank account, right? No dissension, no revolution, no ability to say no.
Yep, that's what they want. Okay? And John the Revelator saw this. He saw people getting chipped up, all right? Saying that they're willing to be, okay, cattle, and they're willing to conform to this image of the beast, all right? Because they wanted to eat and they wanted to be abused. Because basically, when you say you take that chip, you're saying you want to be molested by these devils, man. You're not crying out, okay? Now let's talking to our people. A lot of our people are going to take it because, all right, you're with this wicked world, all right? You're not for righteousness. So yeah, again, this is a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy, okay? It's a conspiracy fact that the kings of the earth, all right, using the United Nations, are pushing forth a policy, a mandate, a law, all right, to chip everyone. Okay? And that you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have this device in you. It's a fact. Okay? So, hey, the clock is ticking, man. And this devil's going to move fast because, again, all right, this information can't be out so available. They're going to have to make a move. They're going to have to shut down this type of journalism, this type of exposure. All right? Which that's going to even move the prophecies even faster because really it's for us, the prophets. The moment we can't teach anymore, that's when it's going to get really, really prophetic in terms of the prophecies moving fast, hard hitting, and in your face. In fact, let me get that because the famine of the word is coming. All right, and you're going to know a prophet have been among you. What is it? Amos is Amos 8. Yep, Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. Right. Okay? They're going to shut this social media platforms down. Okay? If you want to use these social media platforms, you're going to have to scan your hand. They're going to, scan your hand or scan your head. All right? To utilize it. And you can only see what they want you to see. All right, all this, reports like this is all gonna be taken down. Our video is gonna be taken down. All right, and that's gonna mess up a lot of Jake that they thought that making all these videos, all right, was gonna be forever. No, now you gotta apply the scriptures, man. The reason why you're doing these videos, yes, ultimately is to push the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, that is a fact. All right. However, it's for you. It's for you to get your mind ready for what's to come. All right? Because, the days of teaching are coming to an end. We're not going to be teaching anymore. You're going to have to apply the scriptures that you've been bringing out over and over again. You're going to have to apply it. And a lot of Jake, all right, they're going to get caught out there. You're going to be surprised, man. You're going to be surprised. 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea and from the north even to the east. And they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh and shall not find it. Right? Because we're not going to be on the highways and byways. We're not going to be on the streets easily available. Okay? All right? Because once the prophecy happens, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to prophesy about. Don't you get it? When they start pushing the chip and people are getting chipped up, there's nothing more to say. It's happening. 13, and that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Right, all those really these are the window shoppers, that were looking at these videos, scoffing at it, or not in my lifetime, or oh, they saying 2030, so I ain't got to worry about that. Now we're in 2026. I may not even be here by 2030. But yeah, Lord willing, this was edifying. Hey, the days are coming, man, that we ain't gonna be teaching anymore. This devil's gonna move fast. And those that have been playing games, you're not going to find us, all right? You're going to be out there, caught out there. And that's for your judgment, all right? Because the truth been here, all right? The truth been here. So with that, I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the dirt, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostle elders. We're almost out of here. To the few sisters that are watching, keep studying. When you pray, pray, chat, cover, shalom.